E3 2020 is in E3 2021 is in a few days. I'm very excited. There's going to be some really cool announcements, I hope. In this video I'm going to predict what I think will appear, based on sort of rumours, but also a bit of my wish list as well. I'm going to separate it into the different platforms rather than the different publishers or game creators. Starting off with Xbox, aka Microsoft, and sort of Bethesda. So, first thing I predict is that Halo will be dated. That's a big one. It's exciting because I actually was a really big fan of Halo back in the day. Halo 3 was my jam, and I played it profusely. It was actually the main, or rather the first sort of online game that I really heavily got into. The first online game that I ever played was Red Alert 2. But yeah, Halo 3, I put a lot of time into it, and I loved the whole series. So yeah, it's sort of, for me, it's a reason to get an Xbox. Brand new console, Xbox Series X. I think that's what the new Xbox is. I'm not even certain. But it sort of wouldn't be an Xbox generation without Gears of War. The Xbox has been out for 6 months. The Xbox has... Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I like malfunctioned. The Xbox has been out for approximately 6 months now, and it feels like Gears of War announcement would definitely be due and probably come out in 2022. That would be my guess. They haven't really got any other massive franchises apart from Halo and Gears. Those are certainly the two biggest ones that I think are prolific on Xbox. So I'm sure we'll see Gears of War in some form. Fable was teased last year, so I definitely expect that we might see an update on that. It might be a while away, but again, it's one of the limited sort of high-profile franchises that Xbox have got, so you'd think they might put it front and centre. Otherwise for Xbox, I'd just like to see new cool stuff. I'm sure that we'll probably see some sort of infrastructure or some sort of deal-based partnership. Obviously we'll see Bethesda stuff, but what I mean more is like more tie-ins to Game Pass, maybe sort of bundles with different technology or different services. So I think they might go down that route a little bit more as well. Moving on to Sony / PS5. Now, they're not actually at the event themselves, but it's not going to stop me doing a wish list anyway, in a way. So I'd like to see Uncharted continue in some form. I absolutely do not think that we will see this at E3, but it is a wish list item because if PlayStation aren't at E3, Naughty Dog is a PlayStation studio, I think, right? Certainly they're PlayStation exclusive, so I don't expect them to be there. I don't necessarily want Uncharted 5, but I'd like it to continue in some form, maybe with either new or non-Drake characters. Also, we'd just like to see a different franchise from Naughty Dog. We've seen them smash it out of the park with Uncharted and create one of the most incredible and impactful and best video game series of all time with The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2. So all of that creativity and all of that great game design, let's say in a new franchise. It's probably too early for The Last of Us Part 3. Yeah, and again, Sony aren't going to be there, so... I've written these notes here, like thinking that Sony were going to be there. I'm sure we'll see God of War. We won't. Gran Turismo, no. Spider-Man 2, again, actually no. What's it? What are they called? Insomnia. Insomnia aren't PlayStation exclusive, are they? I wouldn't count Spider-Man 2 out. I'm not sure I would discount that. You know, the first game came out 4 years ago, and if you consider that it might be 5 years between games, 2022 release doesn't seem too far outside the realms of possibility. I know that we had Miles Morales, guys, but even if you do take 2022 as the release date, that's still a 2-year gap from Miles Morales, which was very much a spin-off in itself. So yeah, I think we could see it soon. If it's not shown at E3 because of PlayStation vibes, then I would hope it might be shown at an upcoming PlayStation event, maybe like a State of Play that they'll do shortly after E3. I don't think there's anything like that announced just yet, but I'm sure they will do something. Basically, just speaking about this, actually, I want to say that I think it's a shame that Sony don't go to E3. E3 is a big deal, if not for the industry, then for the fans. So I think it's a real shame that any company would choose to not put themselves in this space. I guess I can kind of see it from like a marketing point of view. You may not want all your news to be drowned out by literally your competitors' news coming hours after yours, but like I say, you know, it is what it is. It's largely a fan event these days. And it's not like it's the only time of the year that you can announce stuff. So, yeah, bit of a shame. Here's just a few sort of third-party things that I'd like to see. What I actually want, so I've written down Injustice Superman here, but actually what I want to see is Invincible. I want to see an Invincible video game, and actually, funnily enough, I wrote this list a couple of weeks ago, and my friend Sam, I think it was Sam who shared it, he shared a video recently of the new Unreal 5 engine, is it? And it's like a 10-second clip of like a Superman sort of game idea, and it's literally just Superman taking off of a building and shooting off into the distance. And in terms of actual flying mechanics, it doesn't look a million miles off of the Lego games, the Lego superhero games, like the Marvel games, which I've said once and I'll say it again, I think that those Lego games handle flying in a superhero game that is the specificity of a human being or a humanoid flying. They do that better than we've seen anywhere else, which is something that you don't see a huge amount in video games, so especially in a 3D space. And it looks kind of similar to that, and it just looks incredible. I basically want that, but Invincible. This is a huge... I think we might see the next Tomb Raider, for sure. I think that's highly possible. And the last thing on my third-party list before we move on to Nintendo, I mean, this is one of my biggest wants in gaming, full stop. I can't really say that street racing has ever been as fun as Need for Speed Underground 2. That was the last time that I had a hell of a lot of fun with a racing game. Well, I guess the Burnout games maybe fall into there, but I'd say the Burnout games fall a lot more into the hyper unrealistic, super arcade game with a bit of a gimmick attached as well. It's a great gimmick, but it's a bit of a gimmick attached to that. Whereas I'd say the Need for Speed goes slightly more into a career mode, slightly more into customization, telling that sort of gameplay story, and a slightly less arcadey style, but only slightly, and I really like that. But yeah, I want a new Need for Speed game. I want Need for Speed Underground Redux. Yeah, something like that. Or 3. Yeah, to be honest, if I had my way, they'd call it Need for Speed Underground 3. I see no shame whatsoever in making numbered sequels to properties a long time after the originals. I see no shame in it whatsoever. I love it. But yeah, please just give it to us. It sort of feels like in the last 20 years, could I name a single Need for Speed game? Probably several, but they're all just bollocks, aren't they? They're all just like, oh, chase from the police and red light, hot pursuit, the cops are behind us, the hot pursuit 2 probably, tracked race, floor fire. They're all just stupid. They're not proper. You know, night R&B soundtrack, fully customizable. Get the neons out, get your smokers out, get your NOS, yeah, your nitrous oxide. This is what we all want. Now moving on to the exciting bit. Nintendo, they are going to be there. Nintendo are going to be at E3 doing a direct presentation. Apparently it's 40 minutes long. That's a little short for me. I would hope an E3 presentation to be a little bit longer than that, but let's hope it's jam-packed. If they showed sort of 5 minutes for each segment, that is 8 games. So that's nothing to sniff at as long as the 8 games are decent stuff. Yeah, if they show less, then obviously you can fit more in, and I'm certainly hoping for that. But in any case, there's a few rumours. There's a few really weighty rumours. A weighty rumour, and probably the most exciting thing for me, is Donkey Kong. A 2D Donkey Kong game is rumoured from the makers of Super Mario Odyssey. So that's sort of unbearably exciting. I basically feel like Donkey Kong has always been a neglected franchise and a neglected character. You had the Donkey Kong Country trilogy, and sorry, I should say that my love is born out of the platform versions of the games. So you had Donkey Kong Country back in 1994, 5 and 6. Then sort of nothing until 2010 when we got Donkey Kong Country Returns. So that was like a 14-year wait. Awful. I know there was a Donkey Kong 64 in there, but we're talking about amazing games here, not. And then 4 years later after that, 2014, we had the Tropical Freeze. And it's been 7 years since then. Now, of course, we have had the port of Tropical Freeze in that time, but even that was like 4 years ago now. So, yeah, Donkey Kong should really be one of Nintendo's main franchises. I personally think it should follow a similar pattern to Mario, in that there should be 2D and 3D games mixed in, as well as spin-offs and other sort of titles. So it feels like we're long overdue. And if it's a Mario Odyssey team tackling a new take on 2D Donkey Kong, I'm really interested to see how that works out, because the original trilogy Country trilogy has a very simple but incredibly tight control scheme, and then that mixed in with the graphics, the music, and the whole package, the charming characters and everything, they make that such a holy trinity, if you will. And then the most recent couple of games, they're still absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love both of them, but they took that style, they made it a little bit more complex, and added a few different features. I think they lost something in the graphics and the characters. I don't think the enemies are anywhere near as memorable, and the style isn't quite as enjoyable for me. However, if this new installment is rumoured to have the return of the Kremlins, I think we could be onto something absolutely incredible, and especially with the quality of the Super Mario Odyssey team, very exciting. The other thing that is long overdue for Nintendo platform is Metroid. We got our last one 4 years ago, which was a remake of Metroid 2, and it was absolutely brilliant. There's big rumours of a new 2D Metroid game, which is apparently completely finished, so that's super exciting. There has long been rumour of a Switch port re-release of Metroid Prime Trilogy. That is something that I am absolutely desperate to play. I played the original Metroid Prime back in the day and actually enjoyed it before I was a fan of Metroid. I've not played 2 and 3, and in the last 5 years or so I've become a massive fan of Metroid, so I am so eager to play those games. They did re-release on the Wii, but with motion controls that were not optional, and I'm not a motion control guy to control the actual, that's completely not my style. On top of that, obviously Metroid Prime 4 was announced several years ago, and we hope that we will see that as well. I think it's highly possible that we will see Metroid Prime 4, in my opinion, and certainly based on the leaks and rumours that we're hearing. Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is also hotly on everyone's lips. I have no idea if it will be out in 2021 or 2022. I'd certainly expect it to be one of those two, and I would be surprised if we don't see at least something from E3 for that this year, especially as it is the, I believe, 35th anniversary of Zelda. So you would think that we will certainly get the name, and I would think we might get the date. I'd be heartbroken if we don't see a new Mario Kart game. There's also been rumours of like a Nintendo Kart game, so really expanding it out. People will tell you that they're certainly not making a Mario Kart game because Mario Kart 8, the re-release Deluxe, is it? Sells so incredibly well on Switch. And to those people, I say nay. If they release a new one, they still get all the sales, but then you get all the people that have already bought the Mario Kart 8. If such a high proportion of the Switch install base have already got Mario Kart 8, if you release a brand new Mario Kart game, that's 100% of the install base that could potentially buy your new game. So I think there's a huge audience for it there. I personally have held off on buying Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because I want a new game. I bought that on the Wii, so I've played it, and I want a new Mario Kart game. And it's been 8 years or something since the last new Mario Kart game. Horrifying. You'd certainly expect it to be in development, and I'd absolutely love to see it here revealed here. I sort of said those words in the wrong order. Other than that, just a couple of franchises that I'd like to see return. Things like Wave Race, things like F-Zero, things like Star Fox, and new Mario sports games. So I think a sequel to Mario Strikers or Mario Strikers Charged, which we last saw on the Wii, which is so long ago now. I mean, that's probably coming up to 15-20 years ago. So I'd love to see, and it is the biggest sport in the world, so yeah, it would be great to see a return to soccer in the Mario world, but also just other sports. Obviously, a lot of sports are ticked off, and things like the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, and probably Mario Party as well. But it feels like there's still scope for some big proper sports games featuring Mario characters. One of my favourite games on the N64 was Snowboard Kids, which had a very cutesy sort of Mario Kart style to it anyway. I think like an extreme sports game, either snowboarding but with Mario Kart, with Mario, so Mario snowboarding, or something like Mario skateboarding or Mario biking, Mario BMXing, Mario at the skate park. How about that? Considering Riders Republic was delayed. Anyway, that's it. That's all I've got for you. Have a nice E3. Bye.
So I was working for the company for a long time before I was approached with this inappropriate action, and obviously now I'm whistleblowing.
This is just Crime Watch or whatever, isn't it? Not, good.